project is composed of 3 working packages. The first intends to determine how to support policymakers in best implementing smart specialization strategies. The second defines an innovation model at the cluster level, whereas the third aims at testing new services in pilot clusters in order to have an increased impact on businesses and to facilitate trans-regional cooperation. An advisory board made up of 5 experts will ensure that the project stays in line with the directions defined in the application form and complies with the objectives of the Alpine space program on the one hand and the scientific concepts of clusters and smart specialization on the other hand. The implementation of smart specialization strategies within the Alpine space often doesn't have the desired effects. A lack of experience among regions on how to implement smart specialization strategies and a lack of alignment between and knowledge about other regions' strategies are at the root of the problem. In addition, cluster policies often don't adequately reflect real economic and entrepreneurial dynamics. It is thus the overall objective of this project to improve the framework conditions for innovation induced by clusters and their small and medium-sized enterprises. 3 specific objectives have been defined. First, to initiate mutual knowledge exchange and learning among regional policymakers from different regions, involving quadruple helix actors. Second, to facilitate innovation and gain critical mass through cluster initiatives across regions with a strong technology orientation and high complementarity. Third, to initiate trans-regional cluster-to-cluster cooperation involving quadruple helix actors. The project aims at increasing innovation within participating Alpine space regions through a better implementation and alignment of smart specialization strategies and its interplay with clusters in participating regions. In addition, new tools and methodologies shall be made available to non-participating regions. The target groups of the project are formed by a variety of multi-level stakeholders, represented by quadruple helix actors involved in smart technologies, creative industries, eco-innovation, digitalization, and the circular economy. The project will create 4 main outputs. First, a joint transnational cluster action plan. Second, a fully developed synchronized scheme. Third, an innovation model for cluster development. And fourth, new services tested and validated through pilot clusters. How to foster innovation processes within clusters. How to increase the impact of smart specialization strategies implemented by regional authorities. These are the 2 main questions that shall be addressed in our project entitled Smart Specialization Strategies to build an innovation model for Alp Clusters. The project is managed by S3-4AlpClusters, affiliated to the School of Engineering and Architecture of Fribourg, as part of the Interreg 5B program. The project brings together 14 partners from 11 Alpine space regions, namely Piedmont, Lombardy, the Autonomous Province of Trento, Venetia, Slovenia, Linz, Salzburg, Bavaria, Baden-Württemberg, Franche-Comté and the Canton of Fribourg, as well as their clusters and 9 observers. It aims at strengthening the impact of the regional economic policies on businesses by selecting and prioritizing seminal value chains through an entrepreneurial discovery process within each region.
The objective of this work package is to get a better understanding how clusters can be used in the partner regions to implement smart specialization. For this purpose, we will start on the policy level by benchmarking and stress test exercises. Stress testing means we will compare the implementation process of smart specialization through clusters among the partner regions. That will help us to gain a much better understanding of the different approaches and will prepare a transnational cooperation approach in the future. So identify synergies between the different smart specialization strategies of the regions. So far, not much is known and aligned between the regions. This will help us to proceed in the next step to provide and organize a synchronized call scheme which enables transnational cooperation through clusters and companies within the Alp region. The main output will be twofold. One is a joint action plan which improves the framework conditions for cooperation, and the second result will be a synchronized call scheme where all regions synchronize and align existing funding schemes in order to identify transnational cooperation potentials and facilitate internationalization through clusters within the Alp regions.
Good morning, everyone. I am Veronica Barchetti from Hub Innovazione Trentino. In S3-4AlpClusters project, we are leader of the work package for the S3-based innovation definition with InnoSquare cluster and ITG. Innovation model refer to a general operating scheme, including processes, activities, roles, and coordination practices that is built on existing real case examples and designed to be applied by policymakers. The innovation model mobilizes innovation actors and assets including knowledge, technologies, business practices, networks, with the aim of fostering business innovation and growth opportunity. In Work Package Task 2, we will analyze existing regional and interregional processes and practices at a cluster level to create a basis for an innovation model for cluster development, applicable to all regions and complemented with a new prototypes of services to be tested at enterprise level. The innovation model will integrate regional smart specialization strategies and will be built upon best practices already implemented in the regions. The specific activities include the collection and analysis of the best practices within existing clusters in the region to produce a good practice example, as well as specification of new cluster-based services. We will organize one cluster workshop per region to discuss how the transnational model can support the growth of regional companies. Afterwards, on the basis of selected best practices and exploiting insights coming from regional cluster workshop, we will develop new ideas of services, including, for instance, IP management, collaborative concepts, financial resources, market specification, support to new entrepreneurship, etc. Finally, we will design training tools for the cluster managers regarding the model of new services. The training tools will be publicly available for replication, adoption, and take-up of results.
The aim of this work package is to test the applicability and benefit of new services on cluster level in differently developed regions. Based on the trans-regional synergies identified by smart specialization, benchmarking and stress testing in work package T1, we conduct the pilot testing of new prototypes of cluster services that are part of the innovation model for cluster development created in Work Package Task 2. The prototypes will be applied on cluster level in cross-regional and cross-sectoral manners, for example in the fields of eco-innovation, bioeconomy, circular economy, connected mobility or advanced manufacturing. At least 10 pilot clusters will be jointly selected by the partners. These pilot clusters are ready to turn the new management services into practice in order to facilitate their trans-regional cooperation with clusters.
Each region reports its pilot experiences as well as recommendations for improvement of the new services. The final recommendation report supports the applicability of the tested services, provides guidance to other Alpine space regions on how to use them, and takes into consideration the specificities of advanced, convergence and less advanced regions. After this pilot testing work package, 5 new validated cluster management services adaptable to region-specific needs and changing situations are available. These services should facilitate bundling strengths of Alpine regions and SMEs towards smart innovation and new value chains.